the deeper the root system's going in search of minerals and nutrients in the ground. So the more stressed the vine, the better the wine. The hotter the vintages have been, the better wines are. 2012, 2015, 17 was extreme though. 17 we didn't have any moisture, so all this vegetation started browning in July, and then even the grapes themselves, they were beautiful.
Do various wineries share grapes, or do they own all the?
No, this place just produces what they grow.
Do they produce any sweet wines here?
They do. They do a pasito wine, which is basically leaving the grapes out there for as long as possible,
yeah, they do it like
drying out the grapes, and then they dry them out further on the mats.
Oh yeah.
And they produce it. It's really sweet, very sweet. Sandal side, by the way, this family bought this whole property at the end of the 60s. They bought it from noble Tuscan family. So basically, that is pretty much how it worked in the past, right? So in the past, all the nobility would own like mass land, like they mass ownership of land, and then in the 60s and 70s they divided it up, so they sold off pieces of land. So they were just lucky enough to be there, if you like, at the right time. And they bought this side all across down the side of the hill there.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on in, guys. Alright, so this is obviously Saturday, so obviously no one's working. Super quiet. Especially the winery. But it's extra quiet because everyone's preparing for the biggest trade fair in the country, which is called Vинny. Amazing, it's an amazing thing. I went last year. My brother's coming over on Monday, and he's going out there on Monday, and they will meet me on Monday. And it's all trade, it's all just people, halls, regions, and all the wineries, and all the regions. So Tuscany has this huge hall, it's like the size of 2 football pitches. And within there you have all the different stands. They do quite cool like pop-up stands, so different alternative things. You know, it could be like a pop-up coffee bar, or the cool ones I saw last year was like a pop-up airport, first class. So the cleanliness, you can see, is really good. So all the grapes, they make it through these doors. They get lightly crushed and they get pumped into these open top stainless steel. First process, alcoholic fermentation. Being an organic vineyard, you don't add yeast. If you go to other vineyards, it's kind of a weird, it's like a pink, foamy, mixing up the yeasts. You get different yeasts for different varietals, so they do a lot of testing. It's actually very technical, very expensive. I know a winery that was getting their yeast from Denmark. There's this really high-end lab in Denmark, and they were like making the right yeast. Anyway, it turns out there was this kind of pink foam liquid, and they slide it inside of the vats there, and it starts fermentation. Here they don't use that. So it's like a clear colour. So you'll taste one at lunch. It's pretty intense. So it's
like super strong.
Very strong. Clear in colour. It's 100 proof. So you're going up to 50%.
I've never tasted, but I know what it is.
It's pretty intense.
It's like wine.
I've never had it though.
Okay, guys, just to quickly explain this, is we're just coming up to our tasting, and then we're nicely on time, so then we'll get everyone up and have a glass of wine. This is the aging room. So not all wines are aged in oak. No one needs to do that. It just depends on the winery. The white wine you're going to taste doesn't go anywhere near oak. Just stainless steel. So really fresh. It's the first wine we're going to start with today. Really fresh, a lot of acidity, no passage in oak. All the oak barrels you can see on the floor here is all French oak. So French oak basically is the best one you can buy. You can see there's all different kind of producers and different ages of the barrel. There's 2 types of vessels. You've got this guy here, which is a barrique. That's what they call a barrique. So you look out for that name on the back label or in a restaurant on the wine menu. Barrique is 225 litres. And then this guy here is a tonneau. Okay, so different sizes, different evolution of the wine. This you can see has a medium toasting. So when they buy them, they purchase them. They're very expensive, by the way. This will go for about 900 euros, about new. Whole thing. Bottles come in the front. Bottles are sterilised here. They spin around, turn them upside down, spinning around. This is where the wine goes into the bottle. So this is connected to the vat. Now, in the case of Chianti, because it's a controlled and regulated, remember the DOCG, Denomination Origin Control Guarantee. Once they're ready with their wine, the consortium will come down and take a random sample from the vat to test the wine. If they're happy and they've passed all the analysis and testing, the acidity, tannins, sugar, blah, they get the DOCG label on the package.
Does that happen often that people don't pass even if they've followed all the rules and
There's
then the
been
final
a couple of exceptions. Well, they can just deregulate it, call it an IGT.
Okay.
In the landscape, but we produce the milk and everything. Then we are starting to produce the cheese as well, and we produce everything in this house. It's our dairy, and everything is produced with our milk. And we make like 14 different kind of pecorino cheese. Then a lot of different. And you taste 4 very different one today. I suggest to start with this cheese, the white one. It's called Marzolino because we start to produce in March time. It's a very, very fresh cheese. It can be ready to eat after 3 days. Then it can be very soft and light. We use also like mozzarella sometimes, but of course it's different taste of mozzarella. The second cheese is called Erbolino. It's a semi-fresh cheese, but it's with some herbs, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of chili. The third one is 8 months pecorino cheese, aging. That is a bit much more stronger. And the last cheese is our blue cheese. We make it with sheep milk.
That's new, that one.
Yeah. It's going out now. It's very
Just been
tasty.
released.
Very good. Okay, you have 2 different. This is a mustard of onion. Then it's like a jam of onion with some mustard seeds inside.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit spicy, very tasty with the cheese. And the other one is a jam of figs.
Oh,
Good as well with the cheese. Okay, enjoy. You have some fresh bread.
Really nice, very fresh. A lot of minerality here. Don't know if you can get those minerals. Really stony, rich mineral aromas. Really nice, isn't it? Quite clean. And a really nice aroma of black cherry.
so Chianti's pretty much like really well known for,
Typically,
right?
yeah, typically black cherry. Lulu! Lulu! She's had 52 puppies.
I'm gonna say, Lulu's like,
She's been through the wall.
yeah.
52 puppies.
Damaged goods. Chianti Riserva. So it's quite normal in these properties to have an entry level Chianti and a Chianti Riserva. Chianti Classico, which you're going to taste. Chianti Classico and Chianti Classico Riserva. Now,
Is there a time on the Reserva that they have to age it for? Is that how it
minimum
becomes
24
Reserva?
months.
Okay.
This wine was so good and it was doing so well with awards and in the market and the Vinity, everyone's going crazy for it. It's 100% Sangiovese,
Oh, wow.
and it's aged in used French oak for 18 months. He decided, bold move, a lot of the locals would probably turn, you know, I mean, you're moving away from your appellation. He sent the letter to the consortium to say he wanted this wine to take off its DOCG, Chianti Riserva. So he declassified it to an IGT wine. Why did he do that? Because not only does he think it's too good to be part of the Chianti Colli Fiorentini, which is really restricted, but he wanted wine to have its own kind of journey in the market. Now what I wanted to show you here is the appellation system in full. And here we have the full structure of this kind of government regulation of the appellation of Italian wine. Vino da tavola, table wine, anything and everything. I can buy juice from Puglia, from Sicily, from Tuscany. I can make a wine, I can do whatever we want. I can't put the vintage on, because even the vintages could be the same, but it's just table wine. In some of the restaurants, the table wine, very good, can be actually very good table wine. So it's actually pretty nice. IGT, Indicazione Geografica Tipica, that's the typical geographical indication where we are, Tuscany. So if you look at the bottle, the indication here is IGT Toscana Rosso.
Oh, because that's all it says, Tuscan Red. So
Yeah,
it's basically like
Tuscan Red.
Okay.
These were also considered quite cheap wines up until the 80s, when a lot of these huge wine estates, they saw, I mean, you've seen a few views already, and you're going to see much, much more as the day goes on. This is like one of the most stunning wine districts in the world. It's one of the oldest wine districts in the world, but no one's buying their wine anymore because they think it's cheap, because it says Chianti, and it comes in a wicker basket, and they're like, no way, I'm buying Bordeaux. And then Napa turned up, and the Americans are like, no, I'm buying Napa, big, heavy, structured, full-body wines. Market flipped over, no one was buying these wines anymore, and they were getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So they said, you know what, forget about it, let's take the name Chianti off. Yeah, where's Chianti?
The one you just had?
There,
Yeah, that's the
take
Chianti.
the name Chianti off, take the DOCG label off, let's go IGT, let's be more creative with our labels, creative with our names. And they started bringing international grape varietals down here. Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Syrah. French oak was the big influence, and they built wines that the market wanted. It became huge in the 80s. There was a wine called Solaya from Antinori that won 100 points on the Wine Spectator, and it won Wine of the Year on the Wine Spectator. That, guys, is like winning the Oscars in the wine industry. So it's literally like people are all the wineries in the world, especially in America, are receiving their copy. They all get one, and when it arrives, they take it out the post, and they're like, Jesus, a Bordeaux-style wine from Chianti Classico. Wow, 100 points. Since that day, the whole reputation of this place changed forever. These wines are some of the most expensive wines in Europe. And a lot of the really top IGT wines come from the West Coast. Oh, who's that? A little visitor joining us for a glass of wine.
Is that as friendly as the cat?
That seems really confident.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Couldn't care less. Like.
Oh, it seems happy. So IGT, aka Super Tuscan. Super Tuscan was a nickname created in the 80s.
Yeah, Super Tuscans are
to describe the IGT wines from Tuscany.
Okay.
So this was a Chianti Reserva. He declassified it. It's now an IGT wine, and it's stunning.
And how is that received that he just declassified it?
Mixed.